It's time for Inside Seminole Football with Mike Norvell. Breaking down game-changing plays, momentum-shifting moves, the inside scoop on the team and what's next for the Noles. Inside Seminole Football with Mike Norvell, live from downtown Tallahassee. ABC 27 presents Inside Seminole Football with Mike Norvell. Sponsored by these businesses. Now, the voice of the Seminoles, Gene Deckerhoff, and head coach Mike Norvell.
Welcome to Inside Seminole Football with head coach Mike Norvell. It's Monday, and we're talking Florida State football. Glad you joined us on the radio, on television, and we're here for the next hour, and we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. FSU looking for win number 1. We play Syracuse on Saturday. If you have not heard, it's a 3:30 kickoff, and for those of you wondering about the trip to North Carolina, they put the 5-day hold on, and we'll find out on next Monday whether we play 3 o'clock or 3:30 against the North Carolina Tar Heels up in Chapel Hill. But this weekend's game against the Syracuse Orange is at 3:30, Doe Campbell Stadium. Coach, speaking about afternoon game, well, we had a super crowd, made a lot of noise, really got into the ball game, and there was nothing like playing under the sunshine at Doe Campbell Stadium on Saturday.
No, definitely appreciate everybody that came out, and it was a disappointing start to the game. We fell behind early. Gave up a couple plays. Weren't able to really get into rhythm, but even in real adversity, I thought our guys they continued to fight. They bounced back. Got a chance to put some scores on the board, and in the second half, just the competitiveness of our guys and the way they continued to fight throughout the end. We had our opportunities, just weren't able to finish it, and obviously we got to continue to work and make sure that we can put together a 60-minute game where we're playing our best ball. But we're some really good flashes in that game.
Coach, for the English majors from Florida State University, I'm going to throw out a Charles Dickens thing, a tale of two cities. It was a tale of two halves because we dominated Louisville in the second half, but they jumped on us and scored on 5 straight possessions. We just couldn't slow down Malik Cunningham.
Yeah,
a lot of guys can't do that too.
Well, either. Yeah, and we had our opportunities. You look in the first half. We really struggled to get off the field on defense on third downs, and that's something that we've really had a big emphasis on. And just in the moment, we had a couple breakdowns, things that extended drives, and there really wasn't even in the second half, for the level of play. I mean, there weren't a whole lot of changes that were made, a couple tweaks here and there, but I thought our guys just went out there and they trusted their eyes. They focused on just the play that was in front of them, and showed the capability of what we can do and the type of defense that we can be. And I think that's something we have to be able to build upon. And I was really proud of our guys and the way they responded.
We outscored Louisville in the second half, and we outgained Louisville in the second. In fact, we outgained Louisville for the ball game. But statistics, they don't win football games. But we put together an offense and a defense that played winning football for at least 2 quarters. You're trying to get that for 4 quarters, aren't you?
Yeah, we have to be consistent, and being able to move the ball. We had some explosive plays that showed up, some outstanding individual performances. We've got to be able to finish those drives, and we had, like I said, we had our opportunities that showed up. We've got to capitalize on those. I mean, offensively on third downs, we still have to continue to get better. Third and fourth down opportunities that present themselves. That we had our shots, but there were just breakdowns here and there, just at untimely moments. But I thought our team, we've really been making a big push to play more disciplined brand of football. We cut down on the penalties. It was our fewest penalized game that we've had. That was something that was good. And
the crowd, our fans appreciate that.
Well, but even in that, I mean, there were still things that we have to continue to improve on. I want us to be our best. I want to go out there and be able to play a game to the ability that we can achieve at a very high level. We didn't turn the ball over until the very last pass in the game, and we've got to continue to just trust the fundamentals and put it all together to play a complete game.
Coach, speaking of explosive plays, another explosive outing and a tremendous run by Jashawn Corbin, 75 yards, second play of the second half, and what a thing of beauty that was. But you add up his numbers, and he had nearly a 200-yard yards from scrimmage game. He is an explosive football player.
He is, and he's really growing up. I mean, we talked about it, there in the preseason, and just the growth and the confidence that you see from him. And Jason's somebody that shows up every day, and he's one of the hardest workers on our team. He invests the time, not only out what he's doing on the practice field, but in film study and understanding of what he's going to see and what he can expect. And you talk about what he does with when he's carrying the football, but also being able to catch it out of the backfield. He's a real threat threat there, and he's also willing to do the dirty work and pass protection and blocking for other guys that get the opportunity, whenever he's an off back. And I just love I love who he is and just the way that he approaches the game.
And oh, by the way, sometimes we see number 0 in that wildcat position in a quarterback. Coach, do we see the tip of the iceberg of the ability and the skills of Andrew Parchment? He had a career game for the Seminoles. He's a transfer from Kansas. He scored a touchdown in the ball game. Are we just seeing the tip of the iceberg of how he could play?
I think so. And Andrew was coming in. Obviously, like you mentioned, he's a newcomer into the program. Really getting his understanding and bearings of the offense and things we're asking him to do. We've challenged him, and we've challenged him since the day that he's been here to really elevate that performance and just the consistency of that performance. And I thought he showed up. Had a lot of good plays. Still, I mean, even as he would tell you, there were some plays that were probably left out there on the field that I know he has the potential to make, and I'm excited about him having that spark. And we need him to be a playmaker for us for this offense to get to where we all want to go.
Andrew Parchment, a transfer, his first year as a Seminole, and hold that thought. We're going to come back and talk about the performances. Some of these new guys on this team that are making splash plays for the Noles. Florida State football is on the air. The 75th anniversary is presented by Chick-fil-A. Welcome to Inside Seminole Football with head coach Mike Norvell. And Coach, let's continue that thought about the newcomers. Jermaine Johnson leads us in sacks. He's our leading tackler. Andrew Parchment had a big game, maybe a breakout game for that. And I see Keir Thomas really putting pressure on the quarterbacks. And how about this rover or slash safety by the name of Jamie Robinson? I mean, he was all over. He had a career game, 13 tackles.
Yeah, he was somebody I was going to mention because I thought, he was phenomenal. And I mean, there's still plays that, he would like to continue to clean up and, some of the detail things. But he's also somebody, you look at his versatility. He lined up at 3 different positions there in our secondary. We were without Sidney in the first half. We were kind of down a couple guys, numbers wise. But Jamie's someone that, he can play a lot of different roles. And, with that comes great responsibility too. I mean, the investment of understanding the schemes, where to go, where to be. I think he had close to 13 tackles maybe. Yeah. I mean, just was all over the field and is really emerging as a top playmaker for us on defense.
Yeah, that's a big number, 13 tackles for any position. Usually a linebacker might get 10, but he and Jermaine Johnson are our leading tacklers so far in the season, and both the transfers that came into this program because they were sold on you and sold on Florida State University. The point of the new guys are making splashes like you expected them to.
Well, I mean, they want to be a part of this process too. I mean, these guys are not only very productive players, but they wanted to come into a situation where they could also make a positive impact to others, and that's what I love about them. They're relationship guys, and they want to see their teammates grow. They want to continue to push the standard, and that's what we need. And to see that from some of your top productive players, that's going to continue to emerge in some of the young players that are being forced into action here early in their careers.
Mike, there are a couple of newcomers that I want to ask you about after the break, and one comes to mind, DJ Williams. I thought his first game as a Seminole boy, he could smash that ball, but also we're going to talk about some old-timers that have been in this program. Ontario Wilson is going to be our special student-athlete guest today. He's been around the program for at least 8 years, I think. No, but Pokey Wilson had that big catch against Wake Forest, and we're going to have him as a special guest today. I'm really looking forward to that.
No, he's a great young man, and having him and Coach Dugan's on the show tonight. I mean, it's two great representatives of Florida State football, and guys that for the leadership of Coach Dugan's at that position, and a guy like Pokey who's been through it, and he's been through the whole process, continuing to grow. His work ethic and the opportunity of being that leader is something that he's really embraced.
Coach, I don't know if he's ever explained where he got the nickname Pokey to you, but I'm going to ask him where he got that nickname when he comes on our program tonight.
That would be a good question.
Pokey? Well, he's fast. Anyway, Tico Peoples Gas, delivering natural gas that helps you save energy and earn cash back. Learn more at peoplesgas.com. Stay tuned as we continue to bring you Seminole football on the Seminole Sports Network from Learfield.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Today tastes like a home game. like a huddle. Tastes like we're bringing the heat. And like a front row seat. Today tastes like we're a team, and it never tasted this good.
My name is Leslie. My favorite thing about the Grilled Chicken Club is the grilled chicken, like it's actually been on a grill. As soon as you grab it to go take your first bite, it's just like insanely good.
Hi, my name is Brian, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A mac and cheese is you can taste the different types of cheeses and the blends that they use, and everything just comes together. It's like a delicate dance. They're like perfection in every bite.
Inside Seminole Football with Mike Norvell, sponsored by these businesses. Stay tuned for more Inside Seminole Football with Mike Norvell.
Your extraordinary brain, a network of microscopic vessels so long they could circle the Earth 3 times. As your body's command center, it's the force behind your every thought, every memory, and every impulse. It's what makes you, you. And it's what drives us towards advanced technologies and cutting-edge treatments to create the most comprehensive neuroscience program in North Florida and South Georgia.
Do we buy or rent?
The real estate market is ever-changing, even in Tallahassee. So call a realtor from the Tallahassee Board of Realtors today, or visit us online at tbrnet.org. Tallahassee Board of Realtors.
I stopped in traffic due to an accident up ahead. Out of nowhere, a car hit me going approximately 75 miles an hour. The insurance company gave me a complete lowball offer. It's been a godsend to have Morgan & Morgan help walk me through the process. Morgan & Morgan presented my case so well that the insurance company came to my attorneys and offered a substantial settlement. There was a weight lifted off my shoulder. Thank you, Morgan & Morgan, for willing to help when I thought there was no help out there.
At Take 5, you stay in your car because we're faster than you think.
Oil change is done. I didn't even finish my coffee yet. Take 5, the stay in your car 10-minute oil change.
Seminole football with head coach Mike Norvell. It's Monday night. You know what that means. We talk Seminole football here at Bricks and Brass in downtown Tallahassee, right along Tennessee Street, Mahon Drive, you want to call it Mahon, but in the heart of Tallahassee. If you want to come by, we have refreshments here, always some snacks and some cold beverages, and it's just a great time to share thoughts and talk Florida State football with fans wearing garnet and gold, and a chance to hear what head coach Mike Norvell has to say about our favorite football team. Coach, we talked about newcomers just a minute ago, and going to break, I said, we'll talk a little bit about some old-timers too, and Ontario Wilson is going to be our student-athlete guest. Ron Dugan's his position coach. One more question about newcomers, and that guy wearing number 1, DJ Williams, his first action as a Seminole, and how impressive was he when you looked at the film and how he performed in his first game?
And DJ's somebody that we're really excited about, and it's been as he's come in the spring, he's continued to work himself, just really done a nice job physically developing. He played good ball. He transferred from Auburn, and had some very productive years there. He's coming into a really talented running back room, but I believe he brings another dynamic to it. And he was unavailable for the first few games of the season. Started to get him back, and then last week was his first real action. So not only did he make an impact there, with what he was doing on a couple of carries, but also in special teams, I think he's going to emerge as a guy that we can really count on.
The running back room, now you're starting to get some depth there with DJ back, but you've got to be happy with the guys. You got Trayshawn Ward, he's about 51 yards a game rushing, and he comes in to spell Corbin. Corbin's averaging over 100 yards, about 109 yards a game, and he's third in the conference in rushing. And you add DJ into the mix, and you've got some other guys that haven't had a breakout game yet. Patoa Feely, we saw him last year, and he can catch the ball and score touchdowns, big plays. But you've got to be happy with the running backs.
I am, and Lawrence was unavailable for this last game, and we're hopeful to get him back. But that's a position. You look at this offense. We want to be able to utilize a lot of those guys. There'll be times where you'll see 2 of them, maybe even 3 of them on the field at one time. But being able to allow them to get into space to create those explosive plays, and that's something that we need. And those guys really embrace the work that it takes to put themselves in that position as well.
That running back room looks pretty solid to me, and I think Seminole fans appreciate watching how they run them. You've always had really, really good runners in your career as an offensive coordinator and as a head coach. And our Chick-fil-A stat nugget of the week, Coach, may have something to do with one of those former players and one of your current players. Here's the nugget. You already know the answer. Now for tonight's Stat Nugget presented by Chick-fil-A, Jayshon Corbin ranks first in the ACC and second nationally with his average of 9.15 yards per carry this season. In records dating back to 2000, that's 21 years ago, Corbin has the fourth highest average by an ACC rusher and 19th highest average nationally for any runner with at least 45 carries through a team's first 4 ball games. And, oh, by the way, that's the highest average in a team's first 4 games since 2000 when a fellow by the name of Darrell Henderson's 12.2 yards per carry in 2018 under head coach Mike Norvell at Memphis. How in the world did Darrell, well, no wonder he runs for the Los Angeles Rams of the NFL, but how did he average 12.2? Was it scheme, coach, or just God-given talent?
Well, I mean, those are some very talented running backs, and we like to try to create space for them and let them do what they do well. And those are 2 great examples of guys that put a ton of work into their craft, and when they get the opportunity on game day, it shows up. And so really pleased with Jayshon and how he started off this season. I know you mentioned Trayshawn and even the productivity he's having in the backfield, but also as a pass receiver, he's done some great things for us as well. So really excited about that room and what the future holds for our running backs.
Yeah, if you add the 32 yards that Trayshawn had receiving, 5 catches. He had 191 plus yards from scrimmage, and boy, you can't ask for anything more out of a running back in the game of college football. That's a big number. Coach Darrell Henderson, he's the real deal, right?
Yeah, he was a great back, and and that's one of those things you look at that team, and we had 5 guys at the running back position that made NFL rosters and are very productive, and now playing in the NFL, and that's what I see here, and I see that opportunity. We mentioned a couple of guys we have now, and how Florida State has such a great tradition for that of great running backs that have come through this program, and we want to get that back. And I think these guys are well on their way to establish themselves as phenomenal players.
Sammy Smith, Warwick Dunn, Dalvin Cook, Cam Akers. I mean, good golly, the running backs of Florida State. Those are memories for our fans here. Recognize any of those names? I think you do, huh? Yeah. Minnesota won without Dalvin yesterday, so anyway, we're talking Florida State football with head coach Mike Norvell. It's Monday night. We're at Bricks and Brass, and Coach, we've talked a lot about offense. What did we do at halftime to change the defense? I mean, we completely throttled Malik Cunningham. Not many people could do that. Throttled Cunningham and Louisville in the second half. Limited them on third down opportunities, limited them on rushing and passing, and we just dominated Louisville. What do we do different in the second half?
I really think, our guys just settled in, and I know that's something that we've got to be able to start games like that, and our guys are capable, and there were some mistakes that showed up early that through the work, through the practice reps, just in the moment, we didn't perform necessarily to the level of how we had practiced, and you got to halftime, and everybody was disappointed, but there was no finger pointing in the locker room. It was everybody was, hey, let's go play the next play, let's do our jobs, let's go out there and play the way that we're capable of, and then you started seeing guys just really fuel off of each other, and that energy, that excitement. You had a couple big plays. I thought the mentality and the expectation was where it needs to be. And these guys, I do think the sky's the limit for what they can accomplish. I was really pleased with the response that they showed. I mean, you're down 31-7. There's not a good feeling on that sideline. It's not there. Nobody's happy about where we were, but we had the choice, and these guys had the choice of how they were going to respond, and they decided to go out there and keep fighting, and they elevated their game and really shut down a very explosive offense there in the second half, which gave us an opportunity to get back in it, and but just unfortunately we weren't able to finish it.
Yeah, the defense throwing 3 and outs on Louisville, which we did not do in the first half, but the second half we got the ball back, decent field position. It produces points. Defensive. Tell us the leadership on the defensive side, in that locker room, on the field, on the sideline. We know that Jermaine Johnson is one of our team leaders. Are there others that follow his suit and lead this team?
Absolutely, and I think that's one of the things that we're seeing, that side of the ball, some guys really stepping up. I mean, Fabian Lovett, even though he was unavailable for the game, I mean, he's been such a constant, positive source of energy for our defense, and he has elevated his game. We're hopeful we get him back this week. Kiera Thomas, you mentioned, guys that just, I mean, when you have three guys along that defensive front, and that's not even mentioning, Dennis Briggs, Robert Cooper, who are really playing at a high level as well. And then you go to the linebacker room, Amari Gaynor. You see guys like Kalen DeLoach. I think he's one of the guys on our team that's kind of went, probably unnoticed, but has been so productive in how he's played, and really, is taking his game to the next level. I think he's got a really bright future. We mentioned Jamie and other guys that have started to emerge. I mean, that's got to continue to be contagious. And those guys, when we're playing at a high level, that just pushing that standard, pushing the expectation, and like I said, I've got high hopes for how we're going to continue to respond, and you'll keep that level of play going on throughout the rest of the season.
Coach, staying with defense, we're going to go to break in just a minute, but one thing great about college sports is you're walking into the stadium or walking into an arena, and you see family with the T-shirts on with the names of their son that's playing in the sport, and you see brothers and sisters with those T-shirts. When I walk into the stadium, I saw Brendan Gant's family. They all had Gant on the back of their number 5 of the pro, and the support families have and the love they have for their children that play college football is just tremendous. And I know you appreciate the family atmosphere that comes with this Florida State football.
Oh, there's no question. And these guys are living out their dreams, and they want to go out there and they want to make their families proud. They want to make this university proud. And I think that's one of the things that we've been emphasizing is just all the work that goes into it. And then these guys are continuing to invest. I mean, from Sunday night, even after the disappointing outcome, they to come back out and go to work and really take ownership of the actions that we have, because they want to be successful, and that willingness and that drive, I mean, that's gonna put them in a great position here as we move forward throughout the season.
Our Monday night program with head coach Mike Norvell will continue. We are talking Florida State football. You know that. We've had our stat nugget of the week. We've talked defense. We've talked offense. We're going to come back after the break and talk a little bit about special teams. The Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles reminds you to stay in the game and play by the rules. Texting and driving, it's against the law. One text takes your eyes off the road for about 5 seconds, and at 55 miles an hour, that's like driving around the length of a football field with your eyes closed. Don't try it. To win while driving, you must focus. Put it down and focus on driving to arrive alive. Keep it right here on the Seminole Sports Network from Learfield.
Have you checked out Your heating and air conditioning system doesn't care if it's a convenient time to take a break. That's why at Barano Heating and Air, we are ready whenever you need us. Any day, anytime, anywhere. Our service team is ready to help even if it's after hours or on the weekend. Plus, with our total service agreement, you always get same-day service with no overtime charges, ever. We will always be there for you.
At ViStar, we believe in better. That means treating people better with the kind of friendly, personal service that's kept our members happy since 1952. A smile and personal greeting for everyone who comes into the branch. An online or phone chat for those quick questions. And a call center that's open 7 days a week. If you believe that great service is better, join ViStar. Visit ViStarCU.org.
Inside Seminole Football with Mike Norvell, sponsored by these businesses. Stay tuned for more Inside Seminole Football with Mike Norvell.
With funeral costs averaging over $10,000 and expected to be over $30,000 in 20 years, how can seniors pay for their funeral and not leave this debt to their families? Senior Life Insurance Company offers state-regulated life insurance plans to help cover your final expenses. Up to $30,000 in tax-free money. With plans around $12 a month, covering your final expenses has never been more affordable. This low rate is also locked in for life, and your coverage amount will never decrease. You also cannot be turned down for any health reason. You could qualify for full coverage from day one even if you have many common health issues like diabetes, high blood pressure, or arthritis. This is all done with no medical exam. Senior Life is now enrolling people for this important benefit, so call the number for free information. Don't miss this opportunity for free information on your available benefits. Make the free call now.
Talking Florida State football with head coach Mike Norvell. Welcome back to our program. For those of you watching at ABC 27, we appreciate you tuning in up and down the Seminole Sports Network. Hey, welcome back. And if you have a question for the coach, send it to Seminoles.com, and we'll get it on the air. We're talking offense, defense, and now, football is one of the most incredible sports ever invented. It takes 3 different levels: offense, defense, special teams, and we haven't talked a whole lot about special teams, but this is a better special teams unit than what we saw in the we missed a point after, missed a field goal. Did not get anything in the return game, but you've always been having emphasis on special teams, and you've been a great special teams coach. What are we doing that we can improve on to be better at special teams? Well,
we talked about some of those missed opportunities, and we've left points out there on the field that we've got to capitalize on, and I've got a great deal of confidence in our specialists, and for us, it's about sticking to those fundamentals, being true to who we are and the work that we put in, and looking at the return units, going back, and it's one of those things. It takes 11 guys to go out there and to operate as one, and there was a couple plays where we had 9-10 guys that were in good position, but maybe a leverage that we lost, or a miscount, a mistake that was made that really kept us from an explosive play, and those are things that we have to continue to clean up on. There was a couple choices there in the returns that we're going to continue to have to grow on, and making positive decisions there, but that's one of the things about this game is it does take all 3 phases, and we need special teams to be a win for us every single week, and we invest a lot of time and practice with that. It's just got to show up on game day.
Coach, I know that we talked about penalties reduced, incredible reduction of penalties for the ball game. We're cleaning that up, but as a coach, what's more frustrating? Have a first down catch callback because of a penalty, or have a great return callback because of a block in the back or a hole? It just seems like every time there's a flag thrown on kick returns, it's always on the return team.
Yeah, all of those. All of those things really frustrate me, James. So I don't want to see any of them actually.
But it just seems like we get a good return, boom, block in the back, but penalties are down, and we're moving in the right direction in that category. But as far as special teams, it's more than just the kickers; it's the returners, and it's also the return coverage guy. Is there anybody that stood out in return coverage on the team?
I think Wyatt Rector is a guy that has done a remarkable job in our special teams units. You look at him; he's a 4-team starter. He's actually represented, as a captain, each week, and that's one of the things that, as we have guys that, really embody those characteristics. We have offensive guys, defensive guys, but Wyatt represents our special teams. Yeah, it's to go out and start on those 4 units. I mean, those usually 35 plays that he's going to play that, sometimes you'll go unnoticed, but number 19's done a great job of going and making big hits, big tackles. He does a great job in our coverage and our return game, and so I think he's a star for us in our special teams unit.
Every now and then Wyatt is a touchdown maker as well on those special design plays around the goal line. He's a quarterback by trade. He was a quarterback in high school, played quarterback, and then transferred in as literally a walk-on for Florida State. He's a Leesburg kid. But is he the Taysom Hill of this Florida State football team?
Well, the thing that's funny, I remember when we made the transition from Wyatt from quarterback to playing tight end, it was something he had to work through. And, the first practice, I was kind of a little uncertain of what that physicality would look like. And, Wyatt and I had a nice talk, and, he embraced the challenge. And, now he's one of our most physical players. He is relentless in his pursuit. He likes putting pads on people, and, we need him to keep playing at a high level because he definitely setting a great standard.
Wyatt Rector wears number 19. Were you glad we asked Coach about Wyatt Rector and our special teams coverage? That's something I had not. How about a captain on the team, special team, and a former quarterback that now plays? He knocks heads. You don't see that in quarterbacks very often, do you?
No, I mean he's done a nice job in that transition. So.
In a moment, we're going to talk about Florida State versus Syracuse. Kickoff time is at 3:30 this coming Saturday, Doak Campbell Stadium. The Syracuse Orange, they're 3-1, got a big win on Friday night. We take them on at Doak. Planet Fitness is a proud partner of the Florida State Seminoles. At Planet Fitness, gain access to a clean and spacious club with tons of equipment and the